Do with it now.
Well, Bob and Ronnie.
Yeah, I was wanting to know, do you fine fellows understand what building codes are?
No, why don't you explain it to us?
Explain it to us.
Well, you keep saying that it costs several $1,000s more to build a house in Campbell County with building permits.
Yes.
I've been to places where you buy a building permit, it's a one-time fee, and it does not cost the other taxpayers, but your county or the state, anything. It only costs the ones that are building the house.
Well, what's that got to do? That proves our point.
What's that got to do with understanding building codes?
Well, they don't seem, I've been listening to you some, and they don't seem like you get building
Well,
codes.
let me ask you something. Do they have full-time building inspectors hired in these places?
Yes, they do.
Okay, let me ask you something. If ain't nobody building no houses or buying building permits, how are they getting paid?
They get laid off.
I have never seen a government employee laid off yet. Now you tell me where this is.
Well, they give them another position, another job to do.
Oh, they just changed.
They're still drawing public money, right?
But they have a job to do.
Well, no, what they make jobs for them to do.
No.
You heard about the
Do you understand that building codes are to make your house, when it was built, and my house, and everybody else's house, to the same specifications?
Maybe I don't want mine built to your
If I'm
specifications.
paying for it, why would I want that?
You mean you want yours to be a shack?
I didn't say it was. I might want to build mine better than yours.
Why should I respect your opinion more than I do my own?
No, you see, you don't understand.
I know, Ellie.
We just don't understand. Well, enlighten us.
Yeah.
When you come to a place that does not have building codes,
Uh-huh.
there's nothing that says your house is built to spec that will actually stand up.
Well, you know,
Where are you living now?
Well, I live here in Campbell County.
Okay, is your house standing up?
Barely.
Well, you made a bad choice on what to buy. Mine's standing up and been standing for about 40 years.
maybe you ought to hire you an inspector before you put your money down.
Well, I want to know, how can that inspector inspect my concrete footing after it's already done?
Your concrete footings cracking up?
Well, they're not very good, that's for sure.
Well, they either cracking up or they ain't.
Yeah, how do you know they're cracking up? Could you not see that?
Absolutely not.
Well, how do you know they're cracking up?
Because the brick on my house is cracked.
Oh, well, that was not obvious when you bought the house?
Exactly how?
Because the house is brand new.
Look, when you brick veneer a house, that hasn't got a whole lot to do with the foundations. How could a building inspector have told you that ground was going to settle and you're going to have cracks in your brick on your house?
Because the ground has to need a compaction test on it before you pour concrete on it. Because if you just dig it and you put loose soil in there, then you know that loose soil is going to settle. But if your contractor doesn't care, then you have nothing to protect you. That is what building codes do.
Okay, well, let's go back to protection. This your inspector, if he had inspected this and then it had happened, where's your protection then? You going to sue that inspector?
You're going to go back on the county.
And they're going to say we don't take
on
any
the
responsibility for our inspections.
Yes, they are responsible.
No, they are not.
Once they sign off, you don't have anybody to go back on. If you hire a builder to build your house, and he certifies that the house is built correctly with the right kind of footers, and it's not...
If the building inspector certifies that.
No, I say if the builder builds a house without inspection, and you can go back on that builder. But if he gets one of these jackleg county employees to certify that everything's done right, then you can't go back on anybody.
There's one of those inspectors that if he's not inspecting buildings, he's laid off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What do you need it for?
That's what we said. I'm glad you finally came around.
You need somebody to inspect it because you have too many so-called contractors here that don't care what's right or wrong.
What do you mean so-called contractors?
Who are you talking about?
I can't name no names here.
No, but now if you get a
ladder and a hammer calls themselves a contractor.
Well, no, but now if you're really a concerned
if you're gonna build a $75,000–$80,000 cost on the house, not counting the land, you're certainly not gonna go hire somebody with nothing but a pickup truck, a skill saw, a level, and a hammer.
You get you
if you are, then there's no way in the world the county can protect you from your ignorance.
If you get you a licensed contractor and he turns out to be less than he's supposed to be, you can definitely. In fact, he's supposed to be bonded, but you can at least make sure he doesn't build as a licensed contractor anymore under Tennessee state law.
What you're saying then is if you have a building inspector, my home's going to cost me $70,000–$80,000 more.
No, we didn't say that.
No,
but it cost you $10,000 more.
Right. It's going to cost you more money by having a building inspection department, whether they ever come out and look at your house or not. And as far as the building permits paying for this service, that will never happen.
What do you mean it'll never happen? You can't have building
You
permits?
cannot collect enough fees. People will not build houses if you have a fee so exorbitant it's going to pay for the building inspection department.
Well, how much is the fee going to be?
Well, I think just to set one up, to set this building inspection department up, you're talking about $3 million. You're going to have at least 25 to 30 employees. Now, you figure out how much an individual building permit's going to have to run in order to pay all that.
It's going to cost how much to set it up?
Probably in excess of $3 million.
$3 million?
$3 million.
Write that down for you.
Yeah, well.
Where did it come from? Who told you $3 million to set it up?
We got our figures from the same place that the county commission gets theirs. We pull them out of thin air.
Well, it sure sounds like it, and I think if you would go back and check people that have building permits and building codes.
Now, wait a minute. We had these people up here for the meeting from Anderson County, Knox County, Oak Ridge, and Blunt or Roan, I forget which one. Two of those people were on the payroll from the International Building Codes Council at about $35,000 or $40,000 a year, and you better believe they get every bit of that money out of the individual counties to pay that.
That's what your building code.
How much do you think that a building permit should cost in Campbell County?
In Campbell County, if you're building a new home, it should cost you about $200 to $300.
You know, one of Mr. Adrian Beard, who happens to be on the Planning Commission and the County Commission, made the statement on R.L. Gibson's show one time that it should cost at least $800. And you know, if he made that statement 3 or 4 years ago, it's probably been inflated because of the price of gas and all.
Right. Well, what did the man say it cost for a building permit in Anderson County? Didn't somebody just bring that up a little bit ago?
Yeah, and I don't remember what he said.
He said $1,000, even if you were going to build just a garage.
Yeah.
For just a garage, $1,000.
For the building permit.
I think maybe some of these people ought to go north and learn how to do things so they don't have to charge so much
That's
money.
the reason all of them are coming down here to live, because don't nobody down here know how to do nothing.
They done foul their nest and they all
They
come here.
mess their nest up so bad they can't live in it.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Okay.
If you didn't have this interstate or this luck, you people would be picking shit with the chicken to get by because nobody want to be here.
Well, that would not make us mad.
Well, then go ahead and eat your dead chicken then, because
I mean, why do all you people who come down from up north, you polluted and tore that place up so bad, you've unionized it to the point that industry can't bring that up a little bit ago?
Yeah, and I don't remember what he said.
He said $1,000, even if you were going to build just a garage.
Yeah.
for just a garage, $1,000.
For the building permit.
I think maybe some of these people ought to go north and learn how to do things so they don't have to charge so much
That's the
money.
reason all of them are coming down here to live, because don't nobody down here know how to do nothing.
They done foul their nest and they all
They
come
done
here.
mess their nest up so bad they can't live in it.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret.
Okay.
If you didn't have this interstate or this luck, you people would be picking shit with the chicken to get by because nobody want to be here.
Well, that would not make us mad.
Well, then go ahead and eat your dead chicken then, because
I mean, why do all you people who come down from up north, you pollute it and tore that place up so bad, you've unionized it to the point that industry can't even come up there, you take your retirement off of GM or Ford or come down here, and you're going to tell us how to run this place like you've run that one up there.
no, I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about.
You're trying to hire somebody to tell us how to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're going to do.
I'm glad you called. I really like that.
County, if I had a choice, if I knew this county was so bad, I wouldn't have stayed in this.
You know, I
don't.
believe that road goes both ways, buddy.
Yeah, I'd head right back up north.
Yeah, I would too.
Well, you know what? I'm only down here for your lake, and if you didn't have these...
Well, we don't have much of a lake now. You done run it out of the county.
Yeah, right.
You know, just like I said before, the water may run downhill, but there's plenty up there too if you want to go back. Michigan's got a whole lot more water than we do.
Not every place is perfect, but I think maybe you ought to get your little information straighter than what you're getting.
No, our information is straight. You have been brainwashed by living around a liberal establishment about all your life.
No, I don't think so.
Well, of course you don't. You don't know any better.
No.
You know, that's what I told my wife when we had this house built.
Mm-hmm.
Have to know it's wrong, but...
Wait, whoa. You had that house built?
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you get somebody to inspect it as you were going up?
Why should I have somebody inspect?
Well, it's your house.
Rather than me having to
You
pay
want
for
us to
somebody,
pay to
rather than
inspect
me having to pay to have somebody to inspect your house, why didn't you have it
You led us to
inspected?
believe you'd bought a house that's already built, but you're dumb enough to go out there and have somebody to build one and not look and see what you were doing. And you tell us hillbillies we're dumb?
You that dumb and you want to tell us how to do it?
Well, you don't sound too intelligent because you get everything mixed up.
No, we
ain't bought no houses that are falling. We ain't built no houses that are falling down.
Said that right.
At least you straightened up your junkyard down there a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, we
that's
appreciate it.
That's not a junkyard.
Well, it sure looks like.
That's not a junkyard. When you look at that thing, that is a viable industry going there. Is putting money into this county, and we're not trying to run this county like those people who come down there with a little pittance of a retirement income and think they ought to tell us how to run this county.
Well, I'll tell you what. You take my little pittance of income for my retirement, and I could hire a dozen of you people.
Well, you didn't even hire an inspector.
Yeah, we ought to hire you an inspector when you built that
Yeah,
mansion.
you got that much money, you ought to hire you an inspector.
You know, you don't have to be smart to have money.
What I should have done was got the contractor.
Well, maybe.
Well, no, you
that's your
hired him. Your contractor, you could have shot him if you wanted to.
Well, I didn't quite own him.
Well, it'll make any difference, you know.
There's your mother this house. With you
If
people.
you
Sounds to me like you've made a mistake and you want the county to pay for it.
You want the county, everybody in the county to pay taxes to prevent a mistake that you could have prevented.
No, I don't think so. If you're not here watching your so-called contractor.
Well, look, they come out on inspections about 3 times when you build a house. You think they're going to stand somebody out there to watch that house being built?
And not charge you any more than you would if you didn't build it?
No, see, you don't understand.
I know
we do.
We're so dumb we can't understand a lot of stuff.
Well, when you have an inspector, he inspects the ground before you pour the concrete, and
he comes out and looks at the footers to make sure that it is a square footer, that it's not rounded where your foundation will set in there and rock. Okay, that's what he does. Then he comes back after that foundation is dug and make sure you have poured an adequate amount of concrete.
If he does his job correctly, he's not a brother-in-law to the contractor.
If he does his job correctly, that's what he will do. If it's a buddy of his building the house, then he will not worry about that.
So then you're saying that everybody that would be hired to do this inspection are crooks?
Look, have you ever heard of the Greater Greensboro Open Golf Tournament? That's held down at Forest Oaks Country Club in Randolph County, North Carolina. And the inspector on that big subdivision was taking kickbacks on the septic tanks. And on the first GGO they had down there, that air and odor was so rank, they almost had to call the golf tournament off. and that was a licensed, hired government inspector. You have 4 of them under indictment over in Knox County for going in and condemning areas and then going back and buying those houses, fixing them up and reselling them according to their certification. One of the most corrupt portions of any local government is always the zoning and inspection department. Now, if you think you've had problems with an individual builder, just wait till you start having problems with the county appointed building inspectors.
Well, then you see that's where you have to have people that are honest and straightforward. And if you don't,
well, you should have hired one of those honest, straightforward people to inspect yours and build your house.
Hired one to build your house.
And your judgment on who's honest and straightforward is definitely flawed.
Well, you hire one to build your house. I mean, you have no choice on the county building inspector. You had a choice on who built your house.
But it's too late then.
Well, it wasn't too late when you started.
No.
Oh yes, it was.
Well, you said you had the house built.
Yeah, when you built the house, it wasn't too late when you started to have that house built.
Well, I'll tell you what. You go out of state and have a house built, and you should see if you can stay right there and watch everything they do.
Well, that county inspector's not going to stand there and watch everything they do either.
But I'll guarantee you it wouldn't be like it is.
I guarantee you it would be a whole lot more costly and probably wouldn't be any different.
I don't think you know what you're talking about.
Look, I've built houses. I've built spec houses. I've built them under building codes and everything else. So when you say I don't know what I'm talking about, I do.
Well, I'd hate to see what the house looked like because
I guarantee it probably look better than what you're living in.
Well, I'll tell you what, you might be right, but
I don't know what you're living in. But don't start throwing off on what I have done in the past without being able to see it. And the only thing I've said bad about what you've done is what you didn't do.
Well, then I want to know something. How are you supposed to know that? This is not my first merry-go-round on these houses. I built about 5 or 6 before I got here.
Well, you ought to know better by now.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I had building inspectors that come out and inspected everybody's work.
Okay.
When they did it, it was right. I never had a minute's problem.
Why didn't you hire your building inspector to do this? You wanted us to pay him, didn't you?
No, you know what? The other place, I paid a permit for a building inspection, and that's what I got.
Now, how much was your building permit?
My building permit was about $400.
You can hire an inspector
you
for
get a
free.
man to come out, I don't know how many umpteen times, driving a county vehicle with county insurance, health insurance, and you paid $400, and you think you paid for that man to come out and inspect your house?
Absolutely.
Sure you did. Man, anybody do that for $400. You know, his premium on his hospitalization is more than that a month.
We've got 45 seconds, and we certainly do appreciate you calling and enlightening us.
We're really not mad at you.
We're enlightening us,
but we do disagree with where you're coming from.
He didn't just inspect my house. He has a lot of other houses to inspect, too. It's not just me.
I don't know how he's all up at the same time. We got to go. Call us back tomorrow night.